Welcome to the Embassy of Canada. My name is Patrick Hébert, and I will be your guide throughout the Embassy today. Everybody here at the Embassy of Canada is really proud of this pagoda tree, which is over 500 years old. It is also very tall, as you can see. It is actually 17 meters tall, and it has a diameter of over 5 meters. When we first decided to build the embassy on this site, the tree was not in very good condition. So from the very beginning of the construction, it was clear that protecting the tree would be a critical element of the project. So we worked with Korean tree experts to implement plans that would protect the tree. This included changing the design of the building to protect the roots and improving the physical environment around the tree. Today, as you can see, the tree requires a little bit of support, but we're very glad to see that it continues to grow. It is also one of the main attractions on Jongdong-gil, especially on a beautiful day like today. We opened the Chancery building in July 2007. It includes offices and reception facilities. The building design takes inspiration from historic context of the neighborhood and the Canadian landscape. The architecture reflects paintings from the Group of Seven, a group of Canadian landscape painters from the 1920s and 30s. The Chancery was designed by Canadian architecture company Ziegler, which was awarded the national honor in 2008 for the design of this building by the Canadian Society of Landscape Architects. All our function spaces at the Embassy have been named after people who have played an important role in the bilateral relations between Canada and Korea. The first space that I would like to introduce is the Gale Lounge. This was one of my favorite spaces to greet and meet guests. It is named after James Gale, one of the first Canadian missionaries to arrive in Korea in 1888. Gale translated Korean novels into English and took part in creating the first Korean-English dictionary and the first Korean translation of the Bible. We also have beautiful Canadian art in the Gale Lounge, in particular those vases behind me. This is Wayne by Greg Pace. If you look carefully, you see the evolution of man through the time of life. This outdoor garden just outside the Gale Lounge is called the Stone Garden. It would be fair for our visitors to think that the garden got its name from the many and significant stones one can find here. But actually, it is named after Lieutenant Colonel Jim Stone to honor the Canadian soldiers who fought in the Korean War. Canada contributed more than 26,000 troops, the third largest contingent to United Nations forces during the 1950-53 Korean War. 516 Canadians lost their lives in the war. Some of the major battles in which Canadian soldiers fought include the Battle of Kapyong in 1951 and the Battle of the Imjin River in 1952. The rock over there was quarried from the battlefield of Hill 355 in the DMZ near Kapyong. Canadian troops helped defend this crucial hill in the front line of the Korean War. Over the course of the fighting on Hill 355, Canada would suffer over 200 casualties. Many of these heroes are now interred in the United Nations Memorial Cemetery in Busan. In total, there are now 380 Canadian veterans of the Korean War interred in Busan. We are now in the basement of the embassy where our resource center is located. It is named after Dr. Rosetta Sherwood Hall, who was a medical missionary and educator. Dr. Hall laid the foundation of modern women's medical science in Korea. She founded the Chosun Women's Medical Training Institute, which would become one of Korea's leading medical schools, the Korea University College of Medicine. What you can see behind me is a short story about Rosetta Hall, and you can also see very nice photographs of her time in Korea. The Rosetta Hall Resource Center is normally open to the public and provides visitors with a wide range of books, films, and other resource materials about Canada. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, the center is currently closed to the public, but we do hope to reopen in the near future. The Scofield Hall is located on the first floor of the embassy. This is where we host most of our functions, from roundtables, press conferences, or film screenings. The hall is named after Dr. Frank Scofield, Canadian missionary and educator. He played an active role in the March 1st independence movement and is known as the 34th Man, a reference to the 33 Koreans who signed the Declaration of Independence in 1919. 2020 marked the 50th anniversary of Frank Scofield's passing. I would note that he's the only Westerner to be buried in the Patriot section of Seoul National Cemetery.